can't summon a Scottish accent.
You can do it though sometimes.
No.
Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
Hello.
You don't realize it, but we're on the other side of Docmas.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're out of the woods.
Yes.
I think what's interesting about this Docmas, and people will hear it, but I'm just going to throw this out there.
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to listen to Docmas, and you're going to feel like, okay,
That was Docmas.
they did okay.
Yeah.
But I need you to know that we recorded Docmas 2 days ago, and you said that you only stopped shitting about like a couple of hours before you came over to record this.
That's true.
So I want you to know it was still devastating.
Oh, yeah. No.
It's still ruined Richard.
Yeah, especially at the last episode. I really did damage to myself. And I haven't stopped shitting since.
There's some fun stuff in there.
My whole weekend was ruined in true Docmas fashion.
Yeah, it's a holiday tradition.
Yeah. I fully destroyed my body. And I couldn't do a fun prank this year. But today I did sort of make up for that.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
I presented you with some art.
Yeah, you were at the gas station.
On my way here.
The most insane gas station ever, which I
Yes.
love. It's very close
On
to
the
my
surface,
house.
looks like every other gas station you've ever seen. It's not like a specifically sketchy one or in a weird
No, if
place.
anything, it's like very new.
It's probably the newest one in
clean
town.
And
Yeah.
nice, but the contents of it are bewildering.
And the management style.
And the management's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, you could go in to pay for one thing and you'll spend the next 10 minutes saying no to upsells of random items.
It's funny.
I see you bought a Red Bull. If you buy 5 more, it's $1 off.
I'll admit, I did wonder if he was upselling me because he thought I was like a stoner or something.
Yeah, no. That's just how he does.
And now I understand that's not.
You could go in and just be like, just $30 on, number
Sure.
2. And he'll be like, do you need a pizza, chicken wings? Be like, what about this transaction made you think I needed that?
It's funny.
I mean,
'cause
with me, it's the
I was
it's
gonna say,
the
like,
weight.
I've pumped gas there a few times. I don't think I've ever been upsold before.
Fine, then it's because I'm fat. I don't fucking know.
Because you look like you want another slice of pizza.
This guy wants chicken wings.
Also, after you ate that free slice of pizza, I think he just knows that you're a sucker.
Listen, we don't have to litigate it, but the point is, the artwork that Richard got me is a 3D holographic Rastafarian lion smoking a blunt. Here's the worst part of it. Is that the image has a faux, like, frame in it, so that the dreads of the lion cross outside of the frame, and so do does the curly cord of his headphones. Yeah.
God, if I could only get the artwork in that style.
Yeah, he's grassland.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Fuck, that's good. Damn it. I was trying to think of something.
There we go.
Fuck, that's good. I did like Narnia business.
Yeah,
but
Narnia business.
Narnia business.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're fine because you always are.
Yeah, I mean, I've shit a bit, but I probably would have anyway.
I don't know, but you shave only once in a while, so.
I say shit a bit. They were significant.
Were they like cut off halfway through, flush kind of?
Oh, multiple cutoffs.
Oh, Jesus.
I think grand total, probably about 1.5 feet.
Oh my God.
But I had to, you cut it off part way.
I don't like the way you moved your hands as if you did it physically.
Yeah, you kind of, you sort of just clench your whole body.
Because I find with stuff like this, it comes out fucking hot snakes for me.
No, the hot snakes are behind the log.
Oh, sure.
It's about 1.5 feet of log.
So
I would say.
what you're saying is,
and then I would say another 40 minutes of hot snakes.
because the heat forced everything else out, and then it could be what you did.
Actually,
to yourself.
I think it's that nature abhors a vacuum. Like the log comes out, and then I have like horrible stomach cramps, and it's because it's like finally the space is empty, release the rest.
Sure. That was
It's the ends pulling the dam apart.
Yeah, Saturday was not good and Sunday was bad.
I mostly shit today.
Yeah, Sunday was all
But
day.
again, it's hard to chalk it up to Darkness. It's just sort of how I am.
It's not cool to be to your girlfriend to be like, I know you want to like do stuff, but like,
Oh man.
I can't leave.
Yeah.
She's like, I guess I'll go for a walk by myself. And I was like, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Honestly, if I had a nickel, awful shits is my I have a headache. Except it's not an excuse. It's just
the reason.
The reason. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That very much is the truth.
Yeah.
I definitely had a hot pad on my stomach all day long.
I mean, this is the other thing with you though too. Is like, unless I say something,
Yeah.
my wife doesn't. Other than she'll be like, "You were in the bathroom a while. Your gut's okay," or whatever. But like, you have to make a production out of it. And be like, "Oh, get the hot pad."
I got my own
I'm
fucking
trying to drink
hot
herbal
pad.
teas to move it through. Or like, you have to make such a. No one could not know you were having shit troubles.
Well, because when people want things from me,
Just suck it up.
people want me to do things and I can't do them, and so I have to tell them why.
But my bum.
I said my tummy. Just be clear. My tum is
My bummy.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I don't.
Nope.
Oh no.
I regretted saying that.
Well, as you must know by now, each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
That's right.
It is a stark difference. Like, at least I find on Ghostfacers, at least we're constantly going in and out of like information and jokes.
Right.
I find with this show, especially when we're talking about like today,
Right.
hyper specific things.
Right.
It's like joke, and then like 2 pages
Wall of information.
Wall of information, and then I can finally go joke,
Yeah.
and then wall of information. The juxtaposition must be fucking like whiplash created.
Yeah, it's true. I agree with that. Yeah. I don't have a rebuttal. That's
Well, let's count down to an infinite crisis.
Yeah, it's almost like we had to pick this theme because a bunch of you can't read.
I can't, or they just don't know the difference.
No.
Because it's not like
it's
Infinite Crisis and Final Crisis are pretty similar.
I don't know. They're kind of the exact opposite.
Oh, except for that the words themselves are pretty similar.
They're also kind of the exact opposite. Final, finite, not infinite. The point is, we were talking about Countdown to Final Crisis last week, and a bunch of you rubes asked questions about Countdown to Infinite Crisis.
What do you
And so now
mean?
me, in my infinite grace, has decided that I'll answer those questions.
Remember those words now when he eventually makes some huge gaffe in this episode?
Name one time
And you guys have to be like, actually.
when I had to severely edit that Green Arrow episode.
I always forget about that one.
And then I was so guilt-ridden about it that I just released the unedited one on the Patreon.
Which is
I was
so
like,
much.
You need to know that I
No,
fucked
no,
up.
I'm
sorry.
43.
I did this.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so fucking sorry.
Which
I
is so funny. 'Cause
betrayed your trust.
you fuck up all of the time. And
That one was particularly bad, though.
not so crazy when somebody has to put a thing in the beginning of the episode because it doesn't come out the way that you expected.
I mean, mine was. We really need to for that one.
What's more desperate, what I did at the beginning or the fact that you were like, I'm sorry, here's the real version. I lied to you.
I can't keep up this Telltale podcast. And,
The thump of information.
the banging was coming from inside Libsyn.
Yeah, it was the click clack of the keyboards telling me the information was wrong. I could hear the comic pages turning.
Yeah, the podcast of Amontillado.
So with that being said, we're counting down to Infinite Crisis.
Now, you've read Final Crisis.
Yes.
I don't think you've ever read Infinite Crisis.
What's the Infinite Crisis again?
That's the one where, like Superboy Prime escapes from the Paradise Dimension, and they bring back the multiverse and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I didn't think you had.
Let alone the countdown to it.
I mean, the thing with Countdown to Infinite Crisis is it's an 80-page one-shot comic.
That's it.
theoretically, you could, if you wanted to, you could count from that 80-page one-shot. It spins off into 4 6-issue miniseries that ran leading up to Infinite Crisis. So it goes Countdown to Infinite Crisis, and then as a block, there's Day of Vengeance, the OMAC Project, Villains United, and Ranthanagar War. And those lead up to Infinite Crisis.
Sure.
And then Infinite Crisis folds all 4 of those things together as one big multiverse plan that Alexander Luthor and Superboy Prime have.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go.
But like Countdown to Infinite, we've talked a lot about how, New 52 got me back into comics.
Yeah.
But I'll say not long after jumping back in on the New 52, I read Countdown to Infinite Crisis. This is one of those books that is like really core for me.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Countdown to Infinite Crisis, I was like, holy shit.
It's crazy that we haven't talked about it.
I mean, it comes up almost entirely in the context of Ted Kord dying.
Sure.
Which is the big moment of that book. But that book, I was like, what the
Is that the Maxwell Lord thing?
Yeah. That book, I was like, what the shit is this?
Yeah.
It's like, and for a one-shot that sets up 4 events that set up one event, I really like it. So as much as I'm doing it because you fuckers can't read, I'm excited that we're talking about this. And I'm not gonna like rub it in your face.
Not that you've done that at all.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Is the Dr. Phosphorus stuff, is that from Final Crisis then?
Dr. Phosphorus?
Yeah. Where he goes it's Dr. Light.
Dr. Light, that's Identity Crisis.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Identity Crisis feeds into this.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Because it, the betrayal of Batman leads Batman to make Brother Eye, and Brother Eye plays a big part in Countdown to Infinite Crisis, and then the OMAC Project,
sure,
and then Infinite Crisis.
So there's really 2 like back-to-back pieces of somebody who's like you wouldn't expect them to do something, and then they do something crazy, right?
Yeah,
because like Dr. Light, you're like,
yes, you're right.
And then Maxwell Lord fucking shooting Ted Kord, it's like you wouldn't expect that.
Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. We'll talk about, like Maxwell Lord he was just like a kind of like slimy businessman. He was just we paid some guys to be criminals so the Justice League could he was just opportunistic or whatever. This is like villain turn.
Yeah.
For him. Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's get into the questions.
Let's do it.
From Threads.
Threads. See, you fucking knew it in your heart. That's the right place for it.
No.
Listen to your heart.
You will find.
Oh, wait. Oh, we went to 2 different things. I like that one too.
It means to me.
You did that. I was going to go, listen to your heart when he's calling for you.
Oh, listen to your heart.
We went to 2 different.
To be fair, they both start the same way.
They're good though. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah. Mr. E64 who asks, what's the difference between the Brother Eye from the old OMAC comics and the Brother Eye of Infinite Crisis?
You have the old OMAC comics.
Yeah,
You've got that whole, and now, have you read them?
No.
Okay.
But I got them all.
You have them though, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that original Kirby, like whatever it is, 8-issue OMAC series, One Man Army Corps.
Yep.
That's what OMAC stands for. Buddy Blank is chosen to be this kind of like super soldier. And basically, Brother Eye is a satellite that when he calls on it, it beams down this package of like powers and suit and nanotech or whatever it is that turns him into OMAC. So it means that like instead of having to carry a suit and a ring or whatever, his thing is that it's like beamed down from a satellite. The big difference is that Brother Eye wasn't like an insane supercomputer, as far as I remember.
No.
What they do in Infinite Crisis and in like the OMAC Project, we'll just call this broadly the Countdown to Infinite Crisis. What they do in there is they're like, let's take that idea and let's update it and make it a bit more sinister or whatever. So the original OMAC one was just the Buddy Blank and the OMACs were like built, right? Like I think that's that thing you see where it's like a brick with like two legs coming out, but they're over top of the head, like a classic kind of Kirby weird shit sort of thing. In Countdown to Infinite Crisis, Batman is the one who creates Brother Eye. That had nothing to do with the original Kirby thing at all. Buddy Blank isn't really like a thing in this either, you know? So for these ones, Brother Eye is a satellite that Batman makes to track and assess all metahumans.
Yeah.
And he does it because he can no longer trust his own senses, because he learns that his memory was wiped by Zatanna and other members of the Justice League. And that's from Identity Crisis. And so that obviously Batman does not take that well.
Yeah.
And, you know, his paranoia leads him to create this thing that it essentially becomes it's not 100% Batman's fault. It gains sentience because Alexander Luthor manipulates it. Mm-hmm. But it does gain sentience and becomes this satellite that tracks metahumans, assesses their powers, and then beams down like a nanotech package into regular people, transforming them into Omax, a slightly different design from the Kirby one, but transforming them into Omax that sort of operate like the Sentinels in X-Men, like that they can counter powers, that they... You know, they're designed to go after and target and take out metahumans.
Yeah.
So, metahumans, magic users, whatever. So, they basically, it's that thing, you know, that very Jeff Johnsian thing of taking a sort of long-lost concept or idea and then repurposing it in the context of a very specific continuity. You know,
totally.
Johns does that all the time. You know, and it's been a permanent change to Brother Eye. Like, even though there was an Omax series in New 52, it's still different now, you know? And Brother Eye, we did bring him back in New 52 Future's End as the Batman Brother Eye.
Yeah.
Like, Brother Eye is out there, and that is like what he is now. So in the context of like a cohesive DC continuity, the Infinite Crisis version of Brother Eye is what has stuck.
I mean, and from what I know... like the tonality is even really different because like the original Brother Eye was like more ironically when describing it sounds like a 1984 thing, but again we're talking about that, like we're talking about a generation that believed that like was hopeful about technology, and Brother Eye was more of like paternal and like positive. And because the Brother Eye in Infinite Crisis is more like Skynet. Yes.
You know,
authoritarian and
that kind of like, but the only way for safety is to, you know, like,
and that's like, not the original. The original,
a little bit of Ultron, a little bit of Skynet, a little bit of, you know, like the Sentinels, like all of those things are kind of one thing. But yeah, I think you're right. You know, Kirby's one is that more of a fantastical futurism.
Because Kirby's still from that generation, right? With like the sort of like mid-century, like modern futurism.
But I also think Kirby wanted us to see the potential opportunity of things. Like Kirby had fought in the war. He had seen the bad stuff. And what he took from it is like, what if we aimed for better?
But I think,
and whereas, you know, and part of the story of Infinite Crisis is even we really are like aiming at the worst of things now. And so in a way it's sort of upsetting, but it's also very fitting for Brother Eye to have changed
100%
to what it becomes.
Because I do think that like Kirby's again comes from a world in which like mechanics and technology are become almost separate things, and the version of Brother Eye that he's thinking about is the future of like computer technology, which felt like, oh, we can automate and like make lives better, not the dystopian version of it. I think that like we see with the modern take on Brother Eye. But anyways, moving on to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram. Queequam questions and answers.
You can't do that before it comes out.
It's a pre-joke.
Oh my God. We've never done that ever.
I'm glistening with pre-joke.
Fuck, okay, never mind.
That's pretty good.
Can you joke all over my face?
Oh, I was going to say don't joke on all this pre-joke. No, shit.
What?
You can't use it for two different words.
You can't get laughs from a pre-joke. Don't you know about that?
Oh my God.
Everyone knows that.
I told the joke 35 minutes ago.
Oh my God. I can't joke again. Anyways, first question comes from Doug Thune, who asks, why the frack did Maxwell Lord kill my boy Ted?
Yeah. So like I said, Maxwell Lord goes full villain in Countdown to Infinite Crisis. So the setup of this 80-page one-shot is that Ted Kord notices that something's up. Something is funneling money out of Kord Industries. And it leads to a few investigations. Someone stole some kryptonite. So there's money missing. And it's actually like a very sad book to go through because Ted keeps going to people for help and they keep dismissing him. Now, remember, Ted is part of the Bwaha Justice League, right?
Yes.
That era of the very silly hijinks kind of thing. And what Countdown to Infinite Crisis really trades on is that's his reputation.
Sure.
He goes to like Jean's and Jean goes like, I have real work to do. I don't have time for this, Ted. Ted goes to Batman. Batman's like, I might look at, but this kind of sounds like a you problem. Superman kind of goes like, okay, Ted, I'll have a look out for something, but sort of flies off. Wonder Woman, a little bit like earnestly does want to help him, but is busy. The only person that's really helping him is Booster and a little bit Oracle.
Yeah.
But Booster gets taken out by like a sky laser, like an orbital strike. And Ted's like, he's uncovering this thing. And he's like, there's a conspiracy happening. Shit is going wrong. If no one else is going to fucking figure this out, I'm going to. And he goes solo to this Checkmate headquarters in the mountains in Switzerland. And what he uncovers is that Maxwell Lord is teamed up with or has hacked into Brother Eye and has files on every metahuman. Yeah. And he's targeting them and he knows what their powers are. He knows what their identities are. And Ted's like, I have to fucking tell them. I've got to get out of here. Mm-hmm. And he's on this big escape. The OMACs get him, these machines. Ted is just a guy, and a capable fighter, an interesting inventor, but he's no Batman. And he gets apprehended. He gets his arm broken and shit. And Maxwell Lord shoots him in the fucking head and kills him to stop this from coming out, to stop him from telling the secret.
Yeah.
That's where that issue ends. So, as far as Maxwell Lord's immediate motivation, it's that like the heroes can't know what's coming until it's already there, which is releasing the OMACs and sending them after all of them and stuff like that.
Totally.
There's a crueler thing though, where it's like he could have just kept Ted in prison or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this is in the context of the story. This is Max revealing his true colors.
Yeah.
And even if he wasn't, it doesn't necessarily mean he was always like that, but he has come to believe that, he's superior, that metahumans are in his way. Don't forget, Max has metahuman powers himself.
Mm-hmm.
Mind control powers and stuff like that. I do love, like, Ted has, he offers Ted, like, join me, blah, blah, blah. And Ted says, like, rotten hell, Max. And then the panel of him getting shot in the head is, like, really...
I've seen that panel.
It's, like, intense.
Yeah.
For, like, a, not, it's not like Swamp Thing or Hellblazer or something. It's like intense for a comic. The book does a really tragic job of being like, Ted is a hero. He was always a hero. Why did nobody fucking help him?
Yeah.
And it does, Ted's death sort of incidentally leads to the dissolution of the Justice League and things like that, as part of a number of other actions as well. But yeah, why does Max kill him? Max kills him because Ted is a real hero. He couldn't be bought or controlled or held or whatever. And also because Max was done with the facade. He didn't have to play nice anymore. He had control of Checkmate. He had control of Brother Eye and the OMACs. His powers had never been stronger. In the coming issues of regular comics, he would mind control Superman, forcing Wonder Woman to kill him.
Yeah.
You know, she puts the lasso around him and says, how do I get you to stop? He goes, I'm not going to fucking stop. So she snaps his neck.
Crazy.
You know, or he says something like, you'll have to kill me. And so she does.
Yeah.
And then that also precipitates the dissolution of the Justice League. They go like, what the fuck, Diana? And, you know, she's like, don't you see I had no, you know,
I know.
They all have to grapple with it.
I got the truth.
Like, but, you know, the strain of that, of the death of Ted, of like, they're all kind of complicit in not having helped him. You know, Infinite Crisis is the event. I've brought it up before where Batman has that line to Superman where he's like, the last time you inspired people is when you died. Like,
wild, yeah.
You know, like, we are bringing them low basically for this event, which is part of the setup of the story of the event. But part of doing that is like, we're cranking the villainy on a character. You know, Max is just like, no, this is my villain turn, you know.
Well, I mean,
and also just to the point of like the tone of this question too, they killed Ted because people like Ted.
Yeah,
like as readers, you know, like that's deliberate. We're not killing a character where you go like, well, you know, we're not killing Hawkman where people go like, oh, that's sad, but also, you know, but like Ted is like lovable. Goofball Ted got shot in the fucking head. Like that's deliberate. That's a calculation.
Well, let's talk about that because Jeff Johns had a subtext for and an intention behind this whole thing. So
sure.
Ben Forrest Stewart asks, the point of Infinite Crisis was to move away from the grittiness that had found its way into comics. Given this, why do you think they chose to kick the event off with two brutal murders, one of a historically lighthearted goofball? It seems counterintuitive to me to combat the grittiness with over-the-top grittiness.
So it's not counterintuitive at all.
You need to hit the bottom so you have somewhere to go up.
It's exactly that. So, you know, the thing that Ben's talking about is the story of Infinite Crisis is essentially that at the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths, 4 characters got put in a paradise dimension while New Earth was formed.
Yep.
And those 4 characters are Kal-El of Earth 2, Lois Lane of Earth 2, Alexander Luthor Jr. of Earth 3, and Superboy Prime of Earth Prime. Those 4 go off into a paradise dimension. The story of Infinite Crisis is essentially that Alexander Luthor Jr. believes that they built New Earth on the wrong Earth. Because in that intervening time, since 1985, comics have gotten darker. You know, Superman died, Hal went bad, blah, blah, blah. And so the story is like a meta story about the tone shift of comics, about them getting more violent and worse and grimier, identity crisis and what happened to Sue and like all of these things. And so Alexander Luthor Jr. manipulates, Kal-El, but also Superboy Prime to bust out of this paradise dimension. He takes the place of Lex Luthor on Earth, orchestrates the secret society, and organizes all these things. Like all those other plots, like he's moving planets out of orbit to remap the center of the multiverse. That's kind of what Rand Thanagar War is dealing with. The Omax are, you know, they're not just taking on the metahumans, but they're also calculating which metahumans he needs to bring back the multiverse. He's taking people that were from other Earths and plugging them into the Anti-Monitor Tower. Brother Eye, he gives sentience to make the calculations to bring back the multiverse. Villains United is about capturing the character. I can't remember all the pieces, but all of these things are basically about, I'm going to rebuild the multiverse and find the right Earth on which to build our shared universe because we fucked it up last time. Look how dark this world is. If that is the premise of your thing, you can't start ungritty. You actually have to lean in more. Yeah. You know, if the point is that for the last 20 years, it's been getting worse and grimier and like, what happened to the fun? Do you remember? We used to have like a Bwaha League. If it's supposed to be about that, then you have to catch people up, or you have to remind them, or you have to put it like front of mind. Even the people that read all the comics that, you know, like have been following, you have to get them in the headspace narratively. Yeah. And so to do that, you know, to take a character from the most fun thing that came out of post-crisis, which is the Bwaha League, and have everyone look down on them. It's a sort of meta commentary too, about like, well, we don't take that Justice League seriously. It's not like a real story.
Yeah.
You know, like you have them talk down to him, not take him seriously, blah, 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 blah. Demonstrate that he had value and heroism and was a thing that was underappreciated maybe.
Yeah.
And then just fucking kill him.
Yeah.
That there is no better way to set the stage.
It's a great analogy for what they've done. Yeah.
For where we are. Oh, Day of Vengeance is the other one. Magic and shit powers this antenna. But there's no better way to set up where we are so that when we get to Infinite Crisis, they can turn around and go like, look at the fucking world. And you go like, yeah.
Well, and Jeff Johns can be Kal-El to basically go like, we need to find a better way.
Yeah, like, but it's exactly what you said. We have to make it darkest.
Yeah,
you can't make it darkest like after its start. You know what I mean? Like,
if you go 2% darker,
starting happy and then going dark and there, whatever. The whole thing of the event is that we need to be at our lowest point. So that happens. Maxwell Lord dies. Diana gets, we have this whole thing. The Justice League splits up. Batman doesn't trust anyone. Clark doesn't know if he's doing a good job. Wonder Woman has to grapple with the fact that she basically like killed an unarmed man in her, like, who was like tied up by the lasso. She wasn't fighting him. She just snapped his neck on TV, and the world sees it. So the world doesn't trust the Justice League. Villains are going nuts. The Spectre is untethered and destroying magic. Everything could not be going worse.
I think the inherent failing of this event is that, one, we end on a bad note. So it's really hard to build a foundation of fun and new when we now have to crawl our way out of this. And I don't think they had a plan for that.
I slightly disagree. I think if you read Infinite Crisis, like, I don't think you come out of Infinite Crisis and go, let the laughs flow. I don't think it's like that, but I do think you get a bit of a sense of like,
well, you can't go down from here.
But it's also like we can move forward. We can like,
because things don't like really change.
Superboy Prime goes nuts in this one. He starts quote well-intentioned, and then he goes nuts. He's like, I'm not the fucking villain, But you have to remember, he comes from the real world.
Yeah.
He's the reader. And he becomes an analog for like, this isn't the way it's supposed to go, like that kind of like, I own these. Why isn't it going the way I think they should go?
Sure.
He becomes that. But how do they defeat him, albeit temporarily? The two Supermen do.
Yeah.
Kal-El and Kal-El beat him through sacrifice, through the old, like in space, like even like the set dressing of it is like Silver Agey kind of stuff. We are moving that way. Now there's a lot of bad that happens in there, and a lot of it's very devastating, but like, and it's not that like we did it, we unlocked happiness, but there is a sort of sense of, maybe we did build the world on the wrong one, but that doesn't mean we have to embrace our basest, lowest thing. Like at the end of it, Superman's like, I don't have powers, but I'm going to reconnect to journalism. Batman's like, I think me and the Bat family have to go like retrain and find our mission again. You know, like they have renewed purpose.
Sure.
And I think that's the thing that comes out of it. But again, you don't get to do that if you don't bring them low in the beginning. So it's actually, I don't think it's counterintuitive at all. I think it's exactly what you're supposed to do if that's the point of your story.
No, I 100% think that's true, because also if you take it to the ground, all you can do is dig up, right? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and so I think that there is an inherent thing with that. And I do think that Jeff Johns was trying to show people what it could be.
Yeah.
I just think that it didn't change that much, and I think
no. I mean, the interesting thing about it is that even at the end of Infinite Crisis, it actually takes until 52 to be like the multiverse is back.
Well, yeah, and,
like,
and 52 is fun. Like,
it's great. I love 52, but even in Infinite Crisis, you don't go, so what happened? Like,
yes,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a way, it's a sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths, but in a way, it's also like,
it's also Identity Crisis. It's also,
I mean, Identity Crisis feeds into it, but
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, the ultimate point is killing Ted is the exact right move, actually.
It's the only.
It hurts so much, and if I was a Ted fan, I would be fucking livid.
It's unfortunate that
like in the moment as it was coming out, I would that's awful. But if you just zoom out and you go like narratively, what does this story need? You go like that's a good calculation.
Yeah,
you know,
it's crazy that Sue Dibney didn't do that, but yes.
Yeah. Jean Loring. Well, I mean, she is Jean Loring. You know, after having killed Sue Dibney, she gets put into Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
she's fucking crazy for Ray. But then she gets given the Black Diamond and becomes Eclipso, and she sets the Spectre loose on fucking. Yeah. So Jean Loring is implicated in all of this. She's still around, fucking shit up. Wild. You know. So,
all right. Next question from Fuzz331, who asks, so like, it's not just me that thinks Barbara and Ted are a really fun pairing, right? Especially pre-New 52 Oracle Babs.
Yeah. So there is a little, you know, like romance undercurrent. You know, I think they had a thing a little bit in Birds of Prey in that title. They had a little kind of flirty.
Oh, that's fun.
I can't remember if they like fully date or not, but they had a thing.
Sure.
And there's a little bit of that referenced in this where Oracle's like, Ted, like your company has no fucking money. And he plays it off like he's being cavalier about it, but he's like, where the fuck is my money? Like,
yeah.
But again, this is also the reason people don't take him seriously is he also plays it. He goes like, it's fine. Don't worry. Like,
sure. He doesn't show it.
He doesn't show it. But Babs and he have a little relationship. I actually do kind of like it. Not in any like, I think they should. I'm not shipping them.
Yeah.
But in the way where it's like, you know, not to relitigate this, but we had our conversation about like Dick and Babs or Dick and Corey.
Sure.
Right. And to me, Dick and Babs is the one I want, but it also feels like there's a feeling in the pit of my stomach.
They're not allowed to have
that. They shouldn't be allowed to have it.
Yeah.
In that way where it's like you have like your first high school crush, but it's like you move to different towns. Your lives go.
It can't work.
You thought it was destined, but it's not. Like there's a part of me that like, even though they're together right now, and I really do like it, there's a part of me that goes like, this can't last.
Yes.
I don't know why, but that's just
I get it.
My gut, I feel that way about Dick and Babs, even though I think I like them better than Dick and Corey. But where I'm going with this is I do like Babs and Ted especially as Oracle, in the way where it's just like, these are just two smart people who, you know, he can have fun too. Like the stuff that she likes in Dick, I can see why she would like it in Ted.
Sure.
Like, but Ted is probably also a little sweeter, maybe a little less dangerous.
Yeah.
A little, you know, I can see what she sees in Ted. I think it makes sense to me in an interesting way. I don't know that I need to over explore that.
No.
But I do like it. I agree. Something about it feels interesting. I also like when characters meet and have relationships outside their like corner of the DC universe. You know, like theoretically, that is Green Arrow and Black Canary. There's nothing really to tie those two together. Black Canary, the original Black Canary was in the Justice Society and shit like that. They have no connection to each other. But as soon as you put them together, you go like, oh my God, that's a great pair, you know? Like, and there is something fun about like Blue Beetle and Oracle. They don't come from anywhere close to each other in the comics. But I do kind of like when people meet, and that's like I was a big fan of the Hawk Girl and Martian Manhunter stuff from the Snyder Jimenez run of Justice League. I was like, that's interesting. I don't know that it's got like I don't know if it's going to stand the test of time, but I kind of like Hawk Girl and Martian Manhunter as a couple, you know?
Well, exactly.
I sort of dig that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that, let's move on to the next question, which means we are leaving Instagram and heading over to Reddit,
where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean.
From Inert Cat, who asks, did DC have a list of potential characters that may have replaced Blue Beetle as the dead character that was uncovering the mystery? Who do you guys think would have been an alternate character that dies instead of Ted Kord?
I don't know if they didn't know. Like, the whole story is centered on Ted, so they must have known it was Ted. But the cover to Countdown to Infinite Crisis does have, like, him in shadow. Like, it's Batman holding a body, and the body's in shadow. So, you know, they were kind of playing it that way. But, I mean, the whole story is about Ted. I don't see how he could have ever not been Ted.
Sure.
Unless it was like, well, I mean, Dan DiDio wanted Nightwing to die in Infinite Crisis. That got replaced with Con-El, Superboy.
Yeah.
But, you know, theoretically, you maybe could have done Countdown to Infinite Crisis with Dick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's quite the same. Even though Dick is more lighthearted than Bruce.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same blow as Ted dying. Because Ted is, again, he was just like, he represented the carefree fun. Dick, even in his own title, wasn't necessarily carefree fun. You know what I mean? Like, that Nightwing book's plenty Batman-y, you know? Like, he's dealing with dark stuff and assaults and this kind of thing. And, like, Ted wasn't really.
Yeah.
So it doesn't quite serve the same role to do that. Now, you could have maybe flipped Ted and Booster.
I mean, that's the easiest one, right?
That's an easy one. You know, you could have done that.
Could have done Fire, maybe.
I mean, maybe, but I don't think people care enough about Fire.
I think that's the problem.
That's the problem. Like, Ted is like, he was like Booster and Beetle are the standout success of the Bwaha Justice League. People like love them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I like Fire and Ice. They're fun characters, but like, I don't think as a line wide event kind of set, I think people are like, oh, Fire's dead.
Do you think,
you know, not to be mean to Fire or anything, but
I wonder if you could do Ralph as a response to Sue.
Yeah, I mean, God, I mean, you know,
to give that at least more weight.
He does end up dying in 52, but honestly, wouldn't that feel like a hat on a hat? Like, hasn't this poor man, like...
Well, exactly.
I mean, I see where you're going with that. Like, I do kind of get it, but that also feels like, instead of being, like, shocking, that just kind of feels like, it feels like punching down almost.
Sure,
like,
but
why are we doing this?
Yeah.
But I see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
It would absolutely be sad.
I think
100%.
the thing that I would have liked from that is more from the fact that I think that it would have given her death a bit more like intention to be like, he then goes to try to figure this out and solve this. And
right. Well, I mean, that's they sort of do that. They ended up doing that in 52 a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, he gets kind of put on this path, a little bit desperate. Could he resurrect Sue? There's a mystery here, blah, blah, blah. And he ends up basically battling Felix Faust and stuff like that, you know, and he ends up dying in that. So they do kind of give him a thing like that. And it's probably for the best that we get a little break between Identity Crisis and that. We get like all of Countdown to Infinite Crisis, and then we get like most of the way through 52 before he dies. And you go like, okay. You know? And at least the payoff there is he and Sue get to be together.
Yes.
You know, so there's something there. God, who else could you put in there?
The problem is you have to, I think those pieces you were saying, which is like that carefree, the fun and well-loved, and well-known. And I think that's what makes it challenging.
It's really hard to hit all those, but like,
because you couldn't do Wally, because Wally, it's just we kill Flashes all the time. Like,
you could, I mean, you couldn't because of how they were using him in other events, but without that, you could go like Captain Marvel.
Sure,
maybe because that's devastating to like kill a child.
Yeah,
maybe, you know, Captain Marvel has his own arc through what ends up being the event, but theoretically, you do something different. You move some different pieces around.
You could,
He's maybe.
I just think
he hits those three things.
He's just taken more seriously, to be honest, than Ted.
Well, I think that's just it. You know, like, yeah. You're right. The problem there is that I don't think the Justice League would dismiss Captain Marvel.
Yes.
You know, like he hits the other points like from the reader's perspective,
exactly,
but you're
not
right.
From the Justice League.
In universe, you don't get to set up that no one will help him. If Captain Marvel, especially when you see him in Day of Vengeance, they're like, "Holy shit, it's Captain Marvel!" Like they're in the Oblivion part, and they're like, "This, oh my god!" Like
exactly, yeah.
Fucking, like the rock star walks in,
Totally.
So yeah, you're right.
Captain Carrot.
Oh,
could you imagine?
Not well known enough.
I think that's the problem. But
although I will say there are other comics that have like killed Captain Carrot, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
There's a Convergence,
of course,
a Convergence one where it's like him and Harley fucking poisons him and kills him. You're like, oh my god! And then also the Zoo Crew getting like fully killed during Death Metal. Where it's like even their whole universe gets destroyed, and they're like, "We didn't even think you could destroy our universe." It's like the saddest shit in the world.
Oh my god!
You're like, oh my,
that's crazy.
Because their whole universe has cartoon physics, right? And then Perpetua just like whips it into like the abyss.
Totally.
Like, oh fuck. So, I mean, it's definitely a character in that vein, but absolutely not well known enough. Or not like used enough. Like, I don't think Captain Carrot had shown up.
No.
10 years or 15 years or something.
Could you do Captain Marvel Jr.?
I mean, maybe, but we're getting even further from it.
Yeah.
And again, I think even for him, he doesn't have a reputation that like where people wouldn't help him.
Sure.
They are like
the
Marvel family are kind of respected,
true.
So
and I think that
Ted is kind of, you love Ted, you hate to see him in that position, but he's kind of the only one.
Yeah, it's the only one.
You know?
It kind of is. The more you go back into it, like even Booster would maybe get more taken seriously, but I don't know.
Booster is maybe the only other one you could do, but I think it's less.
And then it's just two sides of the same coin.
But it's also just like it's just a little less devastating. Yes. I think. But yeah. I mean,
all right, let's go to the next question, which means we are going to Diaper Gal Kate. What?
Well, diapers.
That's That's butts.
Well, so is diapers.
No, I mean diapers.
Diapers is butts.
Diapers are in butts.
No.
Or nope. Either way.
They absolutely are not.
Nope. Butts are in diapers.
Richard.
What?
I need to make a call.
I thought that's how you use it.
Yes.
You stop it.
It's like a tampon.
Hey, you talk about tampons?
Hey, Slam Bradley's diapers.
Yeah, slam them up.
Your butt.
Butt them up there.
Slam them up. Oh, man, Slam Bradley.
I forgot.
Slam Bradley's period wipes. Slam them up.
Yeah.
That was, God, we're so funny.
Truly, generational talent.
Masters of comedy.
Yeah. If you were stuck in the paradise dimension, what would be the thing that would make you break out and try to change the multiverse? Assuming you had the powers like Batman. Thanks. It kind of sounds like the question we were talking about on the other podcast.
Yeah. So Paradise Dimension, like I said, that's, Kal-El and Lois Lane of Earth 2, Alexander Luthor Jr. of Earth 3, Superboy Prime of Earth Prime are in this Paradise Dimension. And Lex, Alexander Luthor, manipulates all of them into believing that the stuff they can see that's happening in the universe is even poisoning the Paradise Dimension because Lois is dying and stuff like that. And he's like, see, like their fucking infection is in everything.
Yeah.
And Superboy Prime punches the wall of that dimension so hard that they escape. That's the retcon punch that you might have heard of or that we've talked about. Where he punches reality so hard, A, they escape the Paradise Dimension, and B, like Jason Todd comes back to life. Like he punches reality and things change.
Yeah.
It's what a comic booky fucking thing to have happen. But so all of that to say, if you were in the Paradise Dimension, what would it take for you to go, it's not worth paradise, I need to intervene or whatever?
That's tough.
Because I've got a hot take.
Oh.
I've got mine.
What?
I'm in paradise. You guys fend for yourselves.
You mean you wouldn't?
I'm not getting out of here. I earned mine. My world got destroyed in fucking Crisis. I deserve this.
I mean,
I know. I'm not that heroic. You know, I would love to be. I would love to present myself as like that kind of fucking selfless and good. But like, I'm in a paradise. That's their problem. Draw the blinds. I don't need to look at it.
sure. Yeah. I think
Oh, you're going to fucking high road me on this?
it's just kind of fucked up of you. I don't know.
I learned from you.
No. The thing that would take me out is if something that I had set up to be long lasting good was undone.
Yeah, did they touch my EQ?
Yeah. It was something that I had set up to make everybody's life better undone.
Yeah.
Then I would.
Well, what could we be talking about?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, okay.
No idea. The happiness that I gave you all was undone.
Yeah.
I need to fix it.
Now, well, here's the real question, though. Do you come back benevolent to fix it? Or do you come back, like, wrathful, like, you ungrateful shits didn't know how good you had it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go, for fuck's sakes, I leave for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Right. So you're intervening, but also wrathful.
Yeah.
I'm just not intervening.
Yeah,
I think I'm good again.
This is Old Testament, New Testament. Yeah,
yeah. New Testament God is really like, see ya.
I've got a condo with Teresa in Florida, and I won't be around.
Oh wow. Sorry, New Testament God is
divorced dad. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I'm the dad that sticks around, but they should have gotten divorced.
Yeah. No, honestly, Paradise Dimension. Stop looking out the window. The grass isn't always greener. You're in a paradise dimension. Just fucking live it.
All right.
Also, my God, the relative quiet. It's just me and 3 friends.
3?
Well, there's 4 people in that paradise dimension.
Oh, it's like, who the fuck else are you friends with?
My friend Nick that helps me build stuff.
Fuck that guy. Just because he can fucking use a tool.
Oh, what? You're going to fucking bring Brian, I guess?
Hey,
Are we relitigating the Brian shit?
Brian hasn't been around in forever.
Yeah, you're goddamn right he hasn't. And you'll never find the body.
I thought it was more because he was attached to the previous person I was dating, but sure.
Oh, yeah.
He was their friend.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah. He's not. I don't know if he's gone, but he's not.
Well, we may never know. But
you don't even care about Marcos.
Honestly, we may never know. Or I'm going to go to McDonald's with all of the evidence we need to know.
Yeah, not great to bring that with you.
It's really hard for me not to spiral into conspiracy shit
because
of
like
that. It's been 5 days and he just was carrying everything they needed
into a place, and of course it was
it either feels like they're lying or he has more planned.
Sure.
Like either way, I think there's more, like something else.
There's more to the story.
You know? Like
but of course it was a fucking boomer that snitched.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Have you seen people review bombing that McDonald's?
I love that.
There's all these 1-star reviews on Yelp. Now they're like, I hear they have a rat problem. Like,
that's so fucking good.
That's so funny.
That's so fucking good.
Yeah.
I do love that every single TikTok about this is like, that's clearly not the guy.
Yeah.
Every single one just streams of being like, that doesn't even look like him.
I've seen streams of people being like, it can't be Luigi and I were at it. Like people are like providing alibis. And shit.
Did you like what I wrote to you?
That his name might as well have been spaghetti bolognese. I mean, that is very funny. Because, he's like, Luigi Manicotti or whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah.
The most Italian name I've ever
his
heard.
His name might as well have been spaghetti bolognese is very funny.
Thank you. I was like, how is nobody making that joke yet?
It's true.
It's like, that's the wild for an actual person to be named.
It's so true.
All right, next question. It comes to us from Cassandra, Kane Batgirl, who says, you are making a team of heroes to avenge Ted Kord's death. Who's on that team?
Ooh. I want to go like I for the purpose of answering this question, I want to go full on into like Revenge Squad.
Okay.
So you need people that maybe are willing to maim/kill.
Okay.
I'm putting Fire on that team.
Sure.
Fire's got the temper, the short-sightedness. I'm putting Fire on the team. Honestly, sticking with the Blaha League, I'm putting Guy Gardner on the team.
Sure.
I've got limited love for Guy Gardner, but my boy's on a Vengeance Squad.
Yes.
So yeah, Fire, Guy Gardner.
The Question, maybe?
Question, is interesting with the Charlton connection, and that idea that like they had, a relationship as crime fighters. Question's good, I think. Question's good for that, for sure.
Wonder Woman killed somebody.
She's grappling with that, and so I don't know that she's like willing to go
sure
that far.
Sure.
But throw Wonder Woman in there.
Yeah.
Put her in, coach.
Mm-hmm.
So Wonder Woman, Fire, Guy Gardner, and The Question.
Yeah.
And I mean, you kind of have to have Booster, right? Now, here's the question, though. Is Booster the kind that's like, no, what he would have wanted is, I think, no, he would honor Ted's memory too much. Booster can't be on the Revenge Squad.
Sure.
He'd honor Ted too much. He would talk a big game about killing, and then he'd get there and he'd be like, Ted wouldn't want this. And he would talk himself out of it. So, Booster can't be in there. Who else could? Oh. No, maybe it's just those four. That's the Blue Beetle Avengers.
So, I'm going to do it slightly different.
Okay, go for it.
I want to do a version of this that is about them. It's vengeance, but more of like a fixing of the situation, less than an actual like,
right,
fucking let's kill Maxwell Lord.
Yeah, that's totally fine. That's probably better.
So what? Because I want it to be a response as to like, what if it? Again, the thing that the reason why this was written this way was that like we could show the worst so that things could get better. Right. So let's show the thing that gets better now. So make a team of people that will make things better. So Booster leads it.
Sure.
You get Jaime.
Well, yeah, as part of this thing that happens, Cord Industries blows up, and the Scarab, which Ted had been keeping, ends up. Jaime, it's Infinite Crisis where we get Jaime Reyes.
Totally. So we get that. We get Eel O'Brien, maybe.
Plastic Man. Okay.
Man.
All right.
Maybe Scott Free.
Sure. Yeah. Mr. Miracle.
Zatanna.
Zatanna making things better kind of got us into this mess.
Oh, sure. And then maybe, again, you get Shazam in there.
Sure.
And maybe like Batmite.
Interesting. You know what? For your version of it, I might throw Mr. Terrific in there.
Sure. That'd be great.
I think he'd be interesting.
Yeah,
for sure.
And they instead it's like, let's investigate the conspiracy of it. Let's bring fun back. Let's like reclaim the legacy.
Right.
I think like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like my Kill Squad idea.
Yeah, I have Fun Patrol. You have Kill Squad.
I mean, God, if there was ever a
just our inherent personalities.
Yeah. How would you describe yourself? Kill Squad?
Yeah.
I'm going for lunch. Did you remember to pack your manifesto and your gun and your silencer and a bunch of other convenient stuff that ties you to the crime?
You need 4 IDs.
Bring a passport, a bunch of fake IDs, and a New Jersey driver's license. And make sure that you're wearing the same clothes that you were wearing 4 days ago. And
It is funny that a guy that's so anti-establishment, anti-corporatization has been now seen at both a Starbucks and a McDonald's.
Yeah. Wait, are you saying it's an inside job?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I mean, he is. His family are like huge corporate, like he's super
Holy
rich.
shit. You know, CEO skulls don't actually cave when a bullet hits.
Oh my
This is
God.
my conspiracy theory.
It's like, wow, I don't think anybody was going that direction. He is from that world. Like his family is actually super rich and stuff.
God, what a twist.
They actually like started by
Sorry, do we think Luigi did it?
Can't take it.
But there's more to it, or he's turned himself in or something, because again, this feels suspect. Or do we think Luigi is a fall guy and the real adjuster is still out there?
I mean, if I'm being realistic, I think he's just a guy that fell into some mental health issues and stuff, and his whole family's been attached to that and the health that fucking company specifically has been buying up all of the like senior healthcare facilities, and his family made all their money from those.
Okay.
And so
you actually think it has nothing to do with the injustice of insurance?
No.
It's like one wealthy person mad at a different wealthy person for wealthy things?
Yes.
That's the most disappointing possible outcome.
I know.
We really can't have nice things.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure from everything
that is the most disheartening possible option of this.
It's the thing I've read the most, and from what it sounds like is like that's really what it's about, because like his grandparents were the ones that like started these companies, and that health company's basically been coming in and just like ruining and buying up all of those. And so he then disappeared off to Japan and then came back basically and did this, and like, yeah. Anyways, sorry for ruining everybody's good time.
God damn it. Spaghetti bolognese. Why can't you?
When I saw that name, I was like, there's no fucking way that's a person.
I mean, it does feel fake.
Like,
we need a name for our sketch. I don't know, like Luigi Manjimomoko.
Yeah, it
like,
truly like I was like, dude, who even names their kids Luigi anymore?
He might as well be called Spaghetti Bolognese. That's so funny.
It's not great that when the cops finally showed up, he went, "Oh no!"
yeah.
Why?
Yeah. He was holed up in a haunted mansion, but he was crying so loud that we knew he was in there.
It's actually a conspiracy from Waluigi.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Maybe that's who the other guy that they keep saying he looks like somebody else. Maybe that guy's Waluigi.
That was his Waluigi. Yeah. Linguini.
Fuck. That's so good. Anyways,
It's a me, fettuccine.
Wah.
Tagliatelle.
let's leave Reddit and head over to the doc score.
Oh fuck. Doc scored. Doc scored.
Oh,
Doc
nice.
scored. Doc scored. Doc scored.
Da doc scored.
Doc scored.
Doc scored.
Doc scored. It's too low for me. Doc scored.
Whoa. Sound like your dad. You know what's really cute is when like girls try to do the deep voice and it just sounds like they're just like making a throatier voice.
Long pause.
They're like, "This is me doing a deep voice."
Yeah, Michael McDonald.
I always really like that.
Yeah.
Every time a girl does it, it's the funnest game to play. Do your deep voice and they're like,
I don't want to be a guy that feeds into like sexist stereotypes.
but if I'm gonna,
But if I'm going to, I've got to say the one that is true is the sound effects thing.
it's so fucking true. What is that?
I don't understand. Like, it must just be a social like thing that like boys play that way in a way that
guess,
girls don't
yeah.
or something. Like, none of it makes sense. It really shouldn't have a gender divide, but honestly,
I've never not seen it.
I've never seen a stereotype more true in real life.
It is the
than
funniest
girls
thing.
unable to do sound effects.
It is the funniest.
I don't get it.
Neither do I.
I don't know what the reasons are. I don't know if there are reasons.
And look, if there's a Michael Winslow out there that's a Michelle Winslow, send us the YouTube. I
if
want to
you're
see
Earth
it.
11 Michael Winslow, let us know.
Michelle Winslow,
Yeah.
send it to us because I'd love to know.
Yeah.
But while we're on the doc score, why don't we get Fingers Grayson,
Oh, nice.
who to ask us, do you like Maxwell Lord's full turn to outright villain, or would you have preferred he stayed a Justice League adjacent character who was maybe kind of shady at times?
Here's my big reason why I'm actually pro Max Lord being a villain.
Okay.
I think it's just I just liked how they did it with him in particular, but maybe beyond that. And this, I have to watch how I say this. I am not complaining in any way about how we have found new depth and humanity and even, what's the word I'm looking for? We've reclaimed a number of villains as sort of anti-heroes and things like that over the years. Harley, Ivy, we Killer Frost. We find like a depth and a humanity to them, and we give them a new lease, and we give them a chance to do better. Clayface, even, I really like that. I think that's good, but I also firmly believe that isn't open to everyone. There are characters that I think are bad that can just be bad. Reverse Flash, Black Manta, Joker, like shit like that. Lex comes and goes, but what I've liked about his coming and going is the writers have done a pretty good job of giving him a decent reason. Yeah. Lex was a hero, and then all of a sudden he met fucking God, and God was like, I made the multiverse to be evil. And he's like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Like that totally reasonable turn for Lex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I like about the Max Lord thing is what we don't get very much of is the opposite of reclaiming a villain, which is like souring a sort of, fine but shady character, giving them the full descent. Mm-hmm. We don't do that much. Maxwell Lord was always a kind of shady, opportunistic businessman or whatever. And even the Max Lord we get in Wonder Woman 1984 is mostly just like... he's kind of caught in a cycle of like desperation and trying to stay one lie ahead of himself, that if I just do this, I'll be fine. He's almost a victim of his own thing in that one. What I like about Max Lord in the comics is he just goes like, no, do you know what? Fuck it. I've got power. Why do I need all of the, like, manipulate all of it? Like,
sure.
He just sees it. He just takes it. Like the opportunistic thing that was initially just, we could make a bunch of money off this, becomes like, no, fuck it. I can rule the world.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of refreshing to do that, not try to reclaim him or make him good or whatever. Like he's shitty, like I just
totally.
I dig it from that perspective too. So yeah, I'm sort of on board with it, actually. That might be a slightly controversial opinion. I think some people kind of go like, oh, Maxwell Lord wasn't like a killer. And I kind of go like, why can't he be?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the characters don't have to be exactly the same every time they show up, He had been missing for a bit. I don't know. I'm fine with it.
Totally. And the last question comes from Butt Fart Butt. It's not diaper gal Kate, so...
No, it's okay. I slammed them up.
Oh, that's right.
Diapers.
Then.
Slam them up your ass.
That's right. Because they're also only for the back.
Yeah. Yeah. A diaper is for the back.
The wipe is for the front.
A wipe is for the front. Famously, you don't wipe the back.
This all makes sense.
Everyone knows this.
It's amongst the things that you bring four IDs to McDonald's, and you don't wipe the back.
I think Slam Bradley's like diaper ass tampons just have like full on yellow rope to pull it pull it out. Just like
You come into Bradley's house, you know there's the rules of things everyone knows.
Yeah, slam them up.
So you slam them up, you wipe them down, you bring four IDs.
You also slam wipe up.
Yeah. And then you bring 4 IDs, silencer, and
the exact gun you used 4 days ago.
To McDonald's when you go.
Yeah, to McDonald's. Take your mask off.
These are the things the Bradleys know.
Yeah, bring your manifesto. Explain all your motivations.
That's right, to the closest boomer you can find.
Yeah.
And make sure you smile at the camera.
Order a fillet of fish so they definitely look at your face.
Yeah, and they go, nobody orders this. It must be a weird thing happening.
You must be the guy that killed that CEO.
Because that's what that person would eat. These are the things in the Bradley house.
Yeah, let's have a look at your ID, sir. Your ID is Giuseppe Manicotti.
Yeah, that can't be a real person. Sorry, I'll give you my real one. Luigi Manginoli?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Just give us the Manicotti.
Yeah, give us the real one. Yeah. Spaghetti bolognese. There you go.
Yeah, it's me, Guido Mozzarella.
Oh, and I'm his cousin, Potato Whiskey.
God, it's always such a risk. Your keystone into Irish scares me more than any other bit you do on this show. You doing Irish is the tensest second and a half of my life.
That's right. What else would it be? Tell me. Perform it. What's the thing you're worried about? I mean, you've already done Rastafari, so.
Listen, you're the one that gave me the Rasta Lion.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I appreciate it.
I'm his other cousin, a ganja jerk man.
You're trying to do like the Caribbean equivalent of Luigi.
That's why the Irish guy was the potato whiskey.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Potato whiskey.
Yeah.
It's not offensive.
It's as offensive as spaghetti bolognese.
Is it?
This is the thing.
Can you even be offensive to Italians?
This is the thing that's the...
They're basically there to be made fun of.
Yeah. But is Irish fine then?
No, they've been through too much.
Anyways, Butt Fart Butt says, was there a more meaningful way to kill Ted? Because I actually think it needs to be abrupt and like non-superhero-y. Like it's just a fucking gun to the face.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Countdown to Infinite Crisis threads the needle a little bit. You know, it is, I would say, pretty abrupt. You know, but we do get a little bit of a villain monologue. Ted gets to say like, "See you in hell."
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
We do get a little bit of that, but then Max just goes, you know, like
I think that it needs to be that though.
I know where those questions come from because it does feel like disrespect,
It's unceremonious.
But I think you back up. It's not disrespect to the character. When you do something like that to a character, you know the emotional reaction you're gonna get because people do care about that character.
That is the respect. Yeah.
You become Max Lord to do that, to rally the Justice League of readers.
Yeah.
You know, like it is a calculation. It's not a like, well, and no one gives a shit about Ted.
Because then why they
made an
do
80-page story that centers him because they know he's
and launches
important.
all of this other stuff. Yeah,
you know, like the linchpin of this entire event is Ted's life.
Yeah.
You know, like that's so I don't know what it would mean to be more meaningful other than what I think people think it means, which is like can it go out nicer?
Yeah, or
but
like,
I don't think that does justice to what they're doing in the story. That doesn't mean there is no possible other way to do it, but like what they're doing works with this. So I don't ever look at that and go like, oh, I wish there was another. Like,
I think the only other option,
other than me just being like, it's sad that Ted's dead, but once you zoom out and you go, what are you doing with the story? I go like, yeah, I mean, that does it.
I mean, I think this was intending to be like a cold like a bucket of water,
Totally. Yeah.
I think the only other thing was, could you find a more meaningful way to like inspire people to make more uplifting content, and so therefore you have him sacrifice himself maybe in a way that
Sure. I mean, there is the thing of him. He's like beaten, broken, battered, kneeling on the ground. He's still defiant, but like, yeah, he's not going out in a fight.
yeah. Maybe you could do it that
But
way.
is that as meaningful?
I don't know.
As impactful?
I don't know.
Because here's the other piece of it too. They don't even find out that Ted's dead for a while
Yikes.
because no one is there to tell them.
Sure, because they didn't believe him.
You know, like it's sad.
Yeah.
You know, so if what you mean by meaningful is like someone sees it or like,
Sure,
yeah, I guess maybe, but I don't know. It works.
It feels like it
You know?
needed to happen that way.
I mean, you know, and I like Ted, but I'm not like Ted's my favorite character. So maybe that gives me the distance to be like, it's what the story needed, and I'm not, you know, as upset about it or whatever. But yeah. I don't know.
I think you could.
I don't think the story works as well if he has a less awful death.
Yeah.
I think it's part of
And
it.
part of that is the cheapening of it, which is like just shoot him in the fucking face.
Yeah, I
Because
think
it's
so.
a cheap death, and I think that's kind of the point.
At least he does get, you know, he fights his way through. Like, it's not like he's looking at the screen and goes, I got to tell somebody. He turns around and Max just shoots him in the head.
I mean, that'd be interesting.
It would be, but at least they do give him, he's fighting his way through the castle. He's using his stuff. But
Sure.
the Omax are too much and he breaks his arm. And Max does give him one last, join me, you know, kind of thing. And he can have a defiant, like, fuck you, and then get shot in the head.
Yeah.
So in a way, I actually think the book's already making the concession to give him like the trappings of the heroic death, even though
Show him do something cool.
it's not like mid-fight and he dies.
Yeah.
It's like
He
him,
doesn't
like, broken on the
sacrifice
ground.
himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I hear you. Well, that was the last question. Are we done for the
That's it for the year.
Stockmas?
Docmas
next.
starts on Friday.
That's right. Good for me to remember.
The dates are on all of the things. I know you don't read, but they're there. I've given you all the clues.
I know, but I turned those off because it's just bulking up my email.
Well, no. I don't mean that. I mean on the document, the release date of every episode is.
Well, I guess they are there. Yeah. Mostly just pull stuff off there, but anyways,
Giving you all the clues.
well, you could have saved them.
In a backpack, in a McDonald's.
Oh my God, this Google Doc is just full of Monopoly money.
Oh my God, this says when every episode was meant to come out.
Anyways, in the new year, you can reach out to us through all the
Absolutely.
platforms you already have been.
We're Dr. DC Podcast, wherever you find us.
And if you're sad because you're like, Docmas is done, and then what? Then what? How do I get more content for all the rest of December? Well, there is another place.
Yeah.
If you give us a little bit of money,
Yeah. Or a lot.
or ideally a lot,
Yeah.
then you can get some more content on our Patreon.
Patreon.com/DrDC. There's a $1, $5, $7 level. They all give you access to the Discord, our awesome Discord fan community. And at the higher levels, you get bonus episodes, bonus rewatch series.
So go through the rest of the month.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a long December, and there's reason to believe you should pay us for some content that will last.
Nice, that's good.
Give us money.
Yeah. Also, there is another way you can get more content.
Yeah, I guess. A money-free way.
Yeah.
Go listen to Ghostfacers, a Supernatural rewatch. We're going through every episode of the CW Supernatural. We talk about real world monster lore, behind the scenes stuff about the show. We're working our way to the end of season 10 of 15 right now. But yeah, it's a good time over there.
We'll go through more seasons.
As Richard said, we're a little bit better about peppering jokes throughout. It's a little less informational.
It's maybe a better podcast overall.
Is it? I feel like this has become a better podcast, and that one's gotten worse. Like they flipped.
Interesting. That one's more fun to do.
The polarity of them has
I
flipped.
like doing that one more.
I wish I could say this was a reveal.
Anyways, that's it for this week.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.
The man of the super heroes. They always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure. They are men of